Looking at what was existing in Sheffield, when I looked at the different community groups, one that kind of like just stood out and was really open and welcoming to me was Reach Up Youth. Quinton, being a practitioner and a youth-focused practitioner, worked in Sheffield before. He didn't have any kind of like bias or agenda, it was to deliver the session.
To me, community is a sort of safe space in which people can sort of communicate how they feel. With Sisterhood, it's a safe space that we've all created in which we come and do different activities.
I want you to draw a picture of a duck. And after you've drawn that duck, I kind of want you to name it. I want you to tell me who it is.
We invited the group to kind of reflect and to talk about some of the issues and challenges that they're facing as they kind of grow up in the area. But again, we were looking at wider kind of challenges and issues and the sensitivities of growing up as a teenager into womanhood.
Sisterhood to me is a place where I can just go and unapologetically be myself. I'm surrounded by people who have similar personalities or even different personalities, and we all sort of like mesh together to perform, to just become one big family.
Do you want to tell me, so introduce yourself and then tell me a little bit about your duck. You can read the story if you like.
My name is Zainab and my duck is called Hallie. It was 7 a.m. She's got the
Hallie the duck. It was 7 a.m. in the morning. Hallie secretly practices flying.
Secret name was Helicopter.
I love that.
Helicopter the flying duck.
There was a reason for that. There was a reason for that kind of story, and there was a depth and a substance. Even though it was about a duck trying to fly, it's about Zainab as an individual, you know, looking towards her future and looking towards flying and progressing and evolving and growing.
I always welcome an opportunity for practitioners to come together. For us as youth workers, we're constantly asked to update and review our training around safeguarding, which is important because I think we reach some young people that might not necessarily be part of other organisations or structures. They may not go to school, they may be neat young people that are not in employment or education.
Come inside an event like that where there is an informality, you can have open and safe discussions with colleagues is really, really important. It's coming together and being able to talk about that gives you that greater understanding of what is going on inside of another service, what are the updates and developments within those services. And I've said before, the culture of safeguarding shifts all the time.
It's more pressure on people maybe like us to have to work harder to try and find, and you're relentlessly on the phone or you're seeking what might be out there to try and source all of these things, because there's just so many battles now, isn't there?
And that's the thing, sometimes it's about signposting. We haven't got the knowledge on that area or that field of information, but hopefully we know who we can get in touch with and refer, because we aren't experts on everything.
In that room with the practitioners, there was hundreds of years of experience, so we can all take a little bit from each other as practitioners and as professionals that work with children, young people and vulnerable adults, and hopefully the wider community can benefit from that. Verdon link-up group, that was absolutely fantastic. We had really in-depth conversation. We opened dialogue and discourse around some of the shortfalls of the community. I think it's about a sense of belonging, isn't it? So identifying that and kind of how they were traversing and circumnavigating from kind of teens to young adults and upwards.
I've been going to Verdon Link Up from the start, since 2022. And I feel like from then, I've made, you know, a bunch of nice friends. I'd say it's a general chill space that you can just come whenever you're like wanting to get away from like school, work, university, whatever the case that may be.
Verdon Link Up is amazing, you know why? Because nowadays is a pandemic called loneliness. This place really helps with that, because it helps people connect. Whether it be friendship, whether it be family and friends, it brings people together to just come and sit down and just have fun.
Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a couple of tracks. As I play the tracks, when it stops, whoever you're standing next to, I want you to write on their back what you thought of them or what you think of them. Maybe what you thought of them when you first saw them or what you think of them now.
At like a Verdon link-up, two people could meet and realise one can help the other and they can build from that. If they just come to one Verdon link-up session, they can remember, oh, that was a nice session, and they might recommend it to someone else if it wasn't for them.
I talk a lot around safe spaces and connected adults, just making sure that there is that accessibility and availability for young people to just come and talk about whatever it is that is affecting them, whatever it is that they think that is hurting them or harming them. Do you know what I mean? As the adults, we're very good at having an idea or forming an opinion, but for me it's about what that young person's experience is for them.
Someone said, when I first met you, I hated you, but now you are a brother to me.
Oh, yeah. Round of applause, you don't listen to that one. All right. Almost there.
Within Burngreave, we've been doing quite a lot of parent sessions. Their sort of priority issues have been grooming into criminality and drug concerns. Working directly with the parents in the area, they are the ones that are informing what we are then delivering, because they know what they need, they know what they're seeing.
Safeguarding can mean, we look at the more traditional safeguarding, so we obviously have to be aware of the fact that we're working with vulnerable young people. However, when we look at community contextual safeguarding, we look at those issues that aren't, happening inside the four walls of the home, they are happening outside.
What I'd like you to think about is what could happen there, so what is the risk? What makes our young people vulnerable in these places, and what behaviours we might see.
As a parent, you need to know what's going on, and you have to know your child. Yes. It's a good child, if you're doing it all right, when you finish school, especially the teenagers.
It's important to get the parents in the room leaning towards those kind of conversations, those types of good practice, taking on parental responsibility, identifying where there might be hidden harm, identifying where conversation can be had, seeing the signs of kind of understanding trauma response.
There's also lots of social media songs now that condone carrying something with you and making being part of the team. And the words that are sold on or given in the music are very attacking.
My personal legacy, what would make me happy is to see young people who might not have thought they could do stuff grow and do more stuff, especially if I've had a part to do with that.
I think a legacy would be having the confidence to know that that prevention services, that the community youth teams are there as an established, supportive network that can come in at a point in a young person's life, know that they are going to get a really professional and dedicated service.
My legacy would be their legacy. If I've helped one young person to have a bit of self-worth and think I do deserve better and take a step up, then that's enough for me. If they've moved out of that space and gone on to have a positive, healthy future, then everything's been worthwhile.
So, I'm going to give you a number, yeah? So please remember your number. Yeah? Remember your number. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When you talk about South and Reach Up, it was an idea, she saw a gap, she knew it was needed. She's now got this big project that's inspired other young people, that's inspired other people. And it's just like, that's a legacy that you want to leave, that you plant a seed somewhere, you start something, and then it snowballs for other people, whether that's for future generations, whether that's a different service, whether that spawns an idea for somebody else, but that's legacy to me.
I think it's about recognising the positives of the current situation and then that actually being carried forward for the future. So therefore, it's not just, oh, we've done something and succeeded now, it's about how do we maintain that, how does it become embedded in people's behaviours, practice, thoughts. I think that's what legacy means to me.
I'm hoping that part of the legacy, that we've got a little bit of a legacy that people can then continue on as part of a future conversation and future change. I'm big on resilience and that kind of conversation, so I'm hoping that they leave, and if they have challenges in life and they have trips and falls and setbacks, then they will apply that. A setback is a setup for a comeback.
For my legacy, I would like to leave behind the fact that I was empathetic. Showing empathy, I feel like, is something really, really important, especially in life, in sort of the world that we live in. I feel like empathy isn't shown, and I feel like showing that you can sort of understand another person's perspective is like I feel like it's a really big thing for me.
Goals first, actions or goals? Actions. Goals, we're gonna have goals here. Actions.
If you have a habit, built into your character.
Exactly.